My friends, there is a battle that takes place within the mind of every man and woman who dares to dream of achievement, greatness, and fulfillment. It is not the battle against outside enemies, not the battle against poverty or misfortune, but the battle against distraction, against the scattered forces of the mind that keep one from focusing with power on a single aim. You may have felt it yourself. You sit with an idea burning in your heart, a vision of what you wish to do, yet your attention drifts, your energy leaks away into countless trivialities. The day slips by, and the work that should have been done remains untouched. Why does this happen? Why can't you focus, and what must you do to fix it? The answer lies not in weakness of character, but in misdirection of thought. The human mind is a tool of infinite precision and strength, capable of creating empires, discovering truths, and transforming the impossible into the possible. But a tool, when scattered, cannot cut. A lens, unless it gathers the rays of the sun into a single point, cannot ignite fire. The mind unfocused is like a river that floods the plain, spreading everywhere, nourishing little, producing little. The mind focused is like the river channeled through the dam, generating light and power that drives the engines of progress. You cannot focus because you have not trained your mind to obey you. You have allowed outside influences, voices, interruptions, temptations, and fears to dictate the direction of your thought. You rise in the morning with intentions noble and sincere, yet before the sun has reached its height, you have given your attention to gossip, to useless chatter, to meaningless tasks. You have allowed your mind to wander where it will, rather than commanding it to remain fixed upon a definite aim. That, my friends, is why your focus slips away from you, but let me assure you, this condition is not permanent, it is not a curse, it is simply a habit of thought, a habit of action, a habit of permitting the urgent to crowd out the important. And just as any habit can be formed, so too can it be reformed. The scattered mind can be disciplined. The wandering attention can be trained to remain still. The unfocused will can be forged into a weapon of immense strength. The same energy you now waste in distractions can be harnessed to build the future you desire. To understand how to fix your lack of focus, you must first understand what focus truly is. It is not merely the ability to keep your eyes upon a page, nor the ability to sit at a desk without moving. Focus is the act of holding a definite purpose in your mind with such intensity that every thought, every action, every choice is measured against that purpose. Focus is when you are possessed by a vision so clear that nothing can sway you from its pursuit. Focus is born of clarity, and clarity is born of desire. Unless you know exactly what you want, you cannot focus. Unless your goal burns within you like fire, you cannot give it your full attention. Ask yourself now, what is it that you truly desire? Not the fleeting wishes of the moment, not the whims that change with every wind, but the deep, unshakable desire of your heart. Write it down, define it, place it before your mind's eye so clearly that you cannot mistake it. Until you do this, you will continue to drift, for the mind unfixed upon a definite purpose cannot concentrate. A ship without a port drifts with the tide, and a man without a goal drifts with every distraction. Once you have defined your aim, you must learn the art of directing your thoughts toward it. Do not trust your mind to remain upon it of its own will. Train it as you would train a horse. Each time it wanders, gently but firmly bring it back. Each time you catch yourself lost in idle daydream or petty concern, remind yourself of your definite purpose. Repeat it to yourself in words. Picture it vividly in your imagination. Build the habit of returning again and again to the one great objective that gives meaning to your work. In time, your mind will obey. In time, it will remain where you command it. But focus requires more than mere clarity of aim. It requires environment. You cannot expect your mind to remain fixed upon high and noble thoughts while you surround yourself with noise, clutter, and constant interruption. A man cannot build a fire in the open wind. He must shelter it, protect it, feed it until it grows strong. so too must you shelter your attention from the winds of distraction. Create for yourself a place where you can work without interruption. Remove from your presence the objects that call your attention away. Do not trust your will alone to resist temptation. Remove the temptation altogether. And do not think that focus means endless toil without rest. The mind, like the body, must have periods of renewal. No machine can run without pause, and neither can you. But there is a difference between deliberate rest and idle distraction. Rest is when you step aside to renew your strength, with full intention of returning to your task. Distraction is when you flee from your task without thought, losing yourself in meaningless escape. One strengthens focus, the other destroys it. Another enemy of focus is fear. How often does your mind wander, not because of external noise, but because of inward doubt? You sit to do your work, yet a voice within whispers, "What if you fail? What if this is not enough? What if others laugh at you?" These fears break your concentration more surely than any outside interruption. You cannot focus because your mind is divided, half upon your work and half upon your fears. The remedy is faith, faith in yourself, faith in your purpose, faith in the justice of the universe that rewards every earnest effort. When you know in your heart that your aim is worthy, that your cause is just, and that your persistence will bring results, fear loses its power to distract you. Focus flourishes in the soil of faith. Consider also the role of discipline in building focus. The mind is like a muscle. It grows strong only through repeated exercise. If you cannot read a page without drifting, practice reading one page with full attention. If you cannot work for an hour, practice working for 15 minutes. Each time you extend your capacity a little further, you grow stronger. Each time you resist the pull of distraction, you train your will. And soon, what once seemed impossible becomes natural. The man who once could not concentrate for 5 minutes becomes the man who can hold a thought for hours. The secret is practice, steady and persistent. Do not underestimate the power of habits in this matter. Your day is filled with countless small choices, whether to check the phone, whether to gossip, whether to linger in thought upon what does not serve your purpose. Each small choice either strengthens or weakens your focus. Each time you choose attention, you build the habit of focus. Each time you surrender to distraction, you strengthen the chains that hold you back. The mind becomes what it repeatedly does. If you would be focused, act with focus in the smallest tasks, wash the dish with full attention, listen to the friend with full attention, write the sentence with full attention. In time, attention becomes your natural state. Remember this also. Focus requires sacrifice. You cannot hold everything in your hand at once. To say yes to one aim is to say no to countless others. The man who wishes to be everything ends up being nothing. The man who wishes to go everywhere ends up going nowhere. If you would focus, you must be willing to let go of the trivial, the unnecessary, the merely convenient. You must choose your great aim, and you must give up the lesser distractions that compete for your attention. Sacrifice is not loss, it is investment. You give up the small in order to gain the great. And what is the reward of focus? It is mastery. It is the ability to bring forth from the unseen world of thought into the visible world of achievement. It is the power to transform vague dreams into solid realities. The unfocused man is always beginning, never finishing, always wishing, never accomplishing. The focused man may begin fewer things, but he finishes them. He may dream fewer dreams, but he makes them real. Focus is the bridge between imagination and achievement. So let us be clear. You cannot focus because you have not chosen, you have not disciplined, you have not removed distractions, you have not believed in yourself enough to hold one purpose in your mind with faith and persistence. And you can fix it by doing these things, by choosing a definite aim, by practicing attention, by building habits, by shaping your environment, by sacrificing the trivial, and by renewing your faith in your own power. Think of the lives that have changed the course of history. They were not men and women who scattered their energies in 1,000 directions. They were those who gave themselves wholly to one cause. They knew the secret of focus. They knew the power of a mind concentrated upon a single definite purpose. That same power lies within you. That same focus can be yours if only you are willing to train your mind, to discipline your habits, to protect your attention as the most precious resource you possess. Do not waste another day in drifting thought and scattered energy. Choose now, take hold of your mind, direct it, command it, and watch as the world itself bends to the power of your concentrated will. For the man who can focus, truly focus, has in his hands the key to success, the key to mastery, the key to destiny itself. The journey of building focus is not an overnight conquest, but a lifelong discipline. Every day presents you with a battlefield where you must decide whether to direct your thoughts toward what matters most or allow them to scatter into the winds of distraction. The truth is, most people never lose because of lack of intelligence, nor do they fail because of lack of opportunity. They fail because they have never learned the art of concentration. They carry 10 desires at once, chase 20 directions at the same time, and wonder why they arrive nowhere. The moment you resolve to simplify, to narrow your vision to a single clear aim, your energy doubles, your courage strengthens, and your mind begins to work with you instead of against you. There is a hidden law in the universe that responds to concentration. When you hold one great purpose before your mind with faith, when you give your energy consistently to its achievement, unseen forces begin to move in your favor. You notice opportunities you would have overlooked before. You meet people who share your vision, who seem to appear at just the right time. You feel a current of energy that carries you forward. But when your attention is divided, when you chase one thing today and another tomorrow, that same law works against you. The world cannot help the man who does not know what he wants. The world rushes to the aid of the man who is certain, who is focused, who has burned all bridges behind him and left himself no choice but to win. Your greatest enemy in this matter is not noise from outside, but weakness from within. How many times have you decided to work with focus, only to break your own promise? Each broken promise teaches your mind that your word cannot be trusted. Each time you allow distraction to win, you weaken your command over yourself, but the opposite is also true. Each time you keep your word to yourself, no matter how small, you strengthen your inner authority. Say to yourself you will work for 1 hour with full attention, and when you do it, you grow in strength. Keep doing this, and soon your word will become law to your mind. Focus is the fruit of self-respect. A man who does not keep his word to himself can never master his attention. And let me remind you, focus is not merely about work. It is about life. When you are with your loved ones, are you truly with them, or are you half lost in other thoughts? When you walk in nature, do you truly see the beauty around you, or are you consumed with worry? Focus gives depth to every experience. It allows you to taste the richness of each moment. A scattered life is a shallow life. A focused life is a full life. So take this principle not only into your labor, but into every breath you take. When you eat, eat with attention. When you listen, listen with your whole being. When you dream, dream with intensity. And when you work toward your goal, work with such concentration that the whole universe knows you will not be moved. Focus is not just the key to achievement. It is the key to living fully, to experiencing the depth and richness of existence itself. The man who learns to focus has learned the master skill upon which all other success depends. Everything else, discipline, wealth, relationships, influence, flows from this one power. Once you command your attention, you command your destiny. And that, my friends, is the truth that will change your life forever. The mind is a marvelous servant, but a dangerous master. If you leave it untamed, it will chase after every passing thought like a child chasing butterflies, never catching any, never settling on one. Yet if you seize it, discipline it, direct it with a firm hand, it becomes the very engine of greatness. This is why so many live lives of quiet frustration. They have allowed their mind to remain in control, scattering their strength in 1,000 places. But the moment you decide, truly decide, that your mind shall serve you and not the other way around, you begin to reclaim your power. This decision is not made once. It must be made daily, sometimes hourly, until it becomes second nature. Distractions will always exist. The world will never grow quiet for you. Technology, chatter, demands, and the noise of modern life will only grow louder. You cannot wait for silence. You must create it. You cannot wait for perfect conditions. You must master yourself under imperfect ones. That is the art of true focus, not avoiding every disturbance, but remaining unmoved by them. Imagine the mountain that stands in the storm. The winds may howl, the lightning may strike, but the mountain remains. That is the kind of steadiness you must cultivate in your mind. One way to build such steadiness is to set rituals for yourself. The mind responds to repetition. If you train it to begin your day with clarity, with a review of your purpose, with a declaration of what you will achieve, it begins to accept this as law. If you allow your day to begin with chaos, with endless scrolling, with the opinions of others, it will drift into weakness. Your first hour shapes your day. Guard it as you would guard treasure. Pour into it thoughts of your definite aim, and you will find focus easier to maintain throughout the day. Another method is to remind yourself continually of the cost of distraction. Every time you give into it, you are not just losing a moment. You are losing a fragment of your destiny. Time is life, and once gone it cannot be reclaimed. If a thief came into your home and stole your gold, you would be outraged. Yet how calmly you allow thieves of time to rob you of your greatest wealth. Each minute given to what does not serve your purpose is a jewel thrown into the dust. When you begin to see time as treasure, you will no longer waste it so easily. And remember, no man or woman achieves greatness alone. Surround yourself with those who value focus, who encourage discipline, who respect your attention. If you walk with the distracted, you will become distracted. If you walk with the focused, you will rise to their level. Choose your company wisely, for it will either sharpen or dull your ability to concentrate. In the end, focus is not a trick, not a technique, but a way of living. It is the decision to value depth over surface, purpose over impulse, mastery over mediocrity. It is the refusal to be scattered by every demand, and the determination to give your whole being to what truly matters. If you will embrace this way of living, distractions will lose their grip, your mind will become your ally, and your life will begin to gather power, clarity, and direction, such as you have never known before. There is within every person a reservoir of untapped strength that only reveals itself when the mind is concentrated on one central purpose. Too often, this strength lies dormant, wasted, because the individual never summons it. Scattered thoughts never awaken hidden power. A man who allows his mind to drift across 10 different paths spreads his energy so thinly that no path receives enough to bear fruit. But the moment he decides, with firmness and conviction, that he will give himself entirely to one great goal, it is as though a door inside him swings open, and resources he never imagined suddenly flow forth. That is the miracle of focus. It multiplies what you already possess by directing it with precision. Consider the blacksmith who heats iron. If the fire is weak, scattered, and cool, the iron remains unchanged. But if the fire is intense, concentrated, and hot, the iron yields, bends, and becomes whatever the blacksmith wills. Your mind is that fire. Your purpose is the iron. Unless you raise the temperature of your attention high enough, you cannot shape your future. Unless you sustain that heat, the iron will cool and resist your will. This is why people begin with enthusiasm but fail to finish. They never keep their fire burning long enough on one point to see transformation. The question, then, is not whether you have power, but whether you will use it in a focused way. Every man and woman is given the same 24 hours each day. Some emerge from those hours with achievements that lie beyond them. Others emerge with nothing more than fragments of unfinished tasks and regret. The difference lies not in opportunity nor in talent, but in focus. Those who rise above are not necessarily more gifted. They are more concentrated. They have learned to do with 1 hour of focused work what others cannot accomplish in 10 hours of scattered effort. When you realize this, you begin to see that focus is not simply a skill, but a form of wealth. It is a currency more valuable than money, for money can be lost and regained, but wasted focus is gone forever. Treat it as precious. Guard it as you would guard a vault filled with jewels. Do not give it freely to every distraction that calls for your attention. Let your focus serve only that which is worthy of your time, worthy of your vision, worthy of the life you desire to build. And let me tell you a truth that is both sobering and liberating. The responsibility for your focus rests with you alone. Not with the world, not with your circumstances, not with those around you. No one will protect your attention for you. No one will fight the battle in your mind except you. But when you accept this responsibility, when you resolve that your thoughts will obey you and serve your definite aim, you will discover that you have within you a strength greater than distraction, greater than fear, greater than any obstacle that stands in your way. Focus is the invisible key to freedom. For the unfocused man is a slave to every impulse, every demand, every fleeting temptation. But the focused man is free because he has chosen his path and he walks it with unwavering step. And that freedom, once claimed, opens the doors to every other success life can offer. The mind that is trained to focus becomes like a finely tuned instrument. Every vibration, every note, every movement is directed toward harmony and purpose. But a mind left untrained produces only noise, scattered sounds without melody. This is why so many struggle in vain, working hard yet achieving little. They mistake busyness for effectiveness, motion for progress, noise for music. True progress comes not from doing many things at once, but from doing the right thing with all the power of your being. One strike of a hammer, delivered with precision, can break the stone where 1,000 weak taps will fail. If you would master your destiny, begin with mastering your attention. Resolve that when you give yourself to a task, you give yourself wholly. Refuse to divide your mind between the present duty and the worries of tomorrow, or the regrets of yesterday. All strength lies in the present moment. The past is a memory, the future is a vision, but the present is the only field in which power can be exercised. To focus is to gather all of yourself, your thoughts, your energy, your will, and bring them fully into this single moment. This is where miracles happen. Distraction, by contrast, is the thief of both time and spirit. It leaves you half alive, half engaged, half effective. It robs you of the joy that comes from immersion, from the deep satisfaction of giving yourself completely to something meaningful. And make no mistake, the world is full of thieves ready to steal your focus, advertisements, endless entertainment, idle conversations, even your own restless mind. But you are not helpless. You can decide that your attention is sacred ground and that nothing unworthy will be allowed to enter. Each time you make this decision, you grow stronger. Each time you defend your attention, you build a fortress around your mind, there is another truth: focus breeds momentum, and momentum breeds greatness. The first moments of concentration may be difficult. Your mind resists, wanders, rebels, but if you persist, a strange thing happens. Your work begins to pull you forward. Ideas flow more easily, tasks seem lighter, time disappears. You enter what some call flow, that state where the mind and body are so immersed that effort becomes joy. This state is not a gift reserved for a few. It is the natural reward of focus, available to all who train themselves to remain with their work until the resistance is broken. Imagine what your life would look like if every day you spent even 2 or 3 hours in such a state of undivided attention. Imagine the books you would write, the businesses you would build, the skills you would master, the wealth you would create, the relationships you would deepen. The results would stagger even you. The difference between mediocrity and greatness often lies not in talent, not in luck, but in the simple ability to remain with a task long enough to see it through. Focus, then, is not only a tool for success, it is the very foundation of a life well lived. For without it, you are pulled in every direction by forces outside yourself. With it, you become the author of your days, the captain of your soul, the master of your destiny. And once you taste the power that comes from true concentration, you will never again be satisfied with a life of distraction. My friends, the truth is simple yet powerful. The difference between a life of drifting and a life of destiny is focus. You cannot expect to reach the heights of success while scattering your strength in 1,000 directions. You cannot expect to create, to build, to achieve, while giving your attention to every fleeting distraction. The world belongs to those who know what they want and are willing to direct every ounce of their energy toward it. If your mind is wandering, train it. If distractions surround you, remove them. If fear divides you, strengthen your faith. Choose your purpose, hold it before you with burning desire, and let every thought, every act, every choice lead you closer to it. Focus is not merely a skill, it is the golden key that unlocks the treasures of achievement, peace, fulfillment, and freedom. Seize it, guard it, master it, and you will hold in your hands the power to shape your destiny and to live a life worthy of the greatness within you.